Today we're going to try to make a new arbor for this blade I've been using on the Lagoon mill. Yay! It worked. All right. Think you guys missed all that. I don't know if the camera shut off or stopped recording, or if I forgot to hit record. Yep. But didn't do a whole lot. Just drill. Did the one profile here, which I had it leave some stock, so this shouldn't quite fit. Oh. Yeah. It's alright. It's a few thousandths off. Not a lot, but probably 2 or 3 thousandths. It'll still be alright. So we got that. You know, actually, what that was, I didn't think about that. Remember we checked the bore of this before, and it was slightly over an inch. So that, I don't have a good way to measure that. I mean, a caliper is the only thing I have that'll get in here. 10000. So that's dead on. It's the blade that's off. Well, good. I can always make another blade. Well, modify another blade. And I probably will modify other blades, but the point is this arbor is the right size for 1 inch hole diameter saws, which is what it's for. So this is good, the blade is not. That's fine. Speaking of good, took off another thousandth from these. Pretty close. Want a nice slip fit. So take off half a thousandth more. Should give me 1,000. Nice. Well, I mean, that's kind of dead on. I'll just have it run it again, see how that does. I want them a little easier to remove. That way I can, if I don't want the keys in, I don't have to have them in. If they're too tight of a press fit, they might go in and never come back out. Yeah. I don't even want to. The coolant wants to suck them back in. You know what? I'm actually going to run that one more time. And I did try to use a reamer. I don't have one for this size though. So, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Cool. Clean up the floor now. since this, you didn't see it before, when it cut this profile, well, I don't know if we'll see if it's on the video or not, but it seemed the lathe tool paths that were generated by this post that I got and everything else, they appear to not be quite right, for a few reasons, but it's also, it left about 5 thousandths on this face that this little mill, you can see, milled that groove down in there. So I am going to, the distance between here and here really doesn't matter. So I'm just going to use the same tool to do the horizontal profile around there just to make it look nice and make sure it gets a nice flat contact surface. Alright, so the only thing left to do is tap this hole. Still don't have a decent tap wrench. For bigger taps like this anyway. You know, I think I've got my tapping head, which is spring loaded. I guess you can't see that yet. So it works, I guess. Let's see, am I going? Oh good, and I'm turning backward. The tool is not trying to cut into the tap while I do this. The flutes are backward. That's nice. Get this out of the way now. Put the fly cutter in. Small one out of the way. Once I get just a little farther, I'm going to switch over to a spiral bottoming tap. Actually, I think I'm there now. This hole's not all that deep, and these taper taps are nice, but you spend, what, a little over a ½ inch not really cutting anything. These are nice though. Spiral flute taps. They bring the chips up and out like a drill would. But they're terrible for starting by hand. If you can see them already coming out. A little more of this. Get out of the way here. There's almost a limit for this stupid little tap wrench. Hit bottom though. Yeah, nice little chips. Let's see if our bolt fits. Fantastic. All right. This part's all done. I am going to go eat, and then I've got to do the cap that goes on the other end. So I'll be back. Aw, a chip is melted into my microphone sock. Anywho, we're back. I put my favorite jaws on that I made. They're just steel. They're kind of like hard jaws, I guess. I keep these, they're long, so they support wider stuff better. And they've got built-in steps that can just be machined to whatever height you want. So I more often than not will have these on here. They're great for holding on for just the very bottom of parts. Yeah. Anyway, I thought we'd do the cap out of brass. It seemed fancy, and I don't really want to try to turn another big chunk of steel. So, why not? The end cap doesn't really provide that much. It'll of course provide some clamping force, but the drive pins will be the ones that are really doing the majority of the work. So brass should be more than enough. Yeah, I guess we'll just get started. I've already done the CAD. It's pretty simple, and did all the cam and everything, and we're ready to go as soon as I find the center. Alright, so I don't know how much you got to see of that. Memory card ran out of space, so had to go take care of that. In the meantime, while the everything transferred off, I got the diameter right, and I got these two pins here to be a nice, there's a tiny bit of play, but there probably will have to be, because I can't machine these perfectly, I wouldn't think. So there's a little bit of play there, and I did already test fit it because I wanted to see. Fits in great. There's a little bit of wiggle, but you know, that's kind of what it's supposed to do. You don't want to make it too hard to get on and off, and it's really, the pins are not even really needed to go into the cap, so I'm happy with that. Now we need to take this off. I'm debating what I want to do with these. These, I think I need to flip this over and face the other side and do the countersink. I'm just debating whether I want to make a set of soft jaws for it. I think I do. Yeah, because I've got this set that I've been using for something else. I make all my soft jaws reversible, so that I can reuse the bottom. So I'll just cut a quick circle in here, and we'll get that mounted up. Alright, got the soft jaws in, got the CAD done real quick. One thing to remember when you're doing soft jaws, if you're new to doing soft jaws, is make sure you've got something in between these two jaws when you machine them. If they're up tight against each other and you machine in your feature, then you don't have any clamping power because the clamps bottom out. I use parallels because they're all 0.130, so I've actually modeled the two jaws 0.130 inches from each other, so I can just drop whatever I'm making the jaw for into the jaw, trace around it, machine it as it sits, and then when I take the parallel out, there's a little over 1/10 of an inch for it to clamp onto the part. So, just something to keep in mind. Because I think I only made one set of jaws, but like that before I realized, oh yeah, you can't have them touching each other when you machine them. Oops. Got too busy talking. Forgot to do this. I always like to do a go to X0, Y0, just to make sure I haven't messed anything up. I've done it plenty of times. I don't know how, but I'll hit G0, X0, Y0, and it'll end up over here somehow or something strange. Clamp that down. The other nice thing, if you're doing soft jaws for something, if you can cut the jaws, if you model the part in the jaws, and you cut the jaws and then put the part in without changing your Z0, use the same one you used for the soft jaws, you don't need to measure anything, and it all just lines up. So I'm going to do coolant for this one because it's aluminum and it gets gummy otherwise. So you can watch through the door. I'm going to do a few passes just to be gentle about it. It's actually not as gentle as I wanted it to be. This is, you know what? I'm going to go at this a slightly different way. When you get these thin flaps of material with the fly cutter, you're just asking for them to get bent up, and it's a mess. I've had it happen several times, which kind of makes me wonder why I didn't think about this first, but with my other method, take off the majority of it with an adaptive tool path from the outside in, and then come back with the face mill just for the last bit. You notice there, I let Fusion pick its own stock size. I had the right thickness, but I didn't bother changing the X and Y width, so it's fine. Brass is pretty forgiving for the majority of things, so I typically don't worry about it too much. Alright. stop it again. I changed it to extend beyond, but I figure since I did the other side this way, I'll do this side this way and keep it the same. All right. Now, debating whether I want to potentially destroy it and be fancy or not. I think I want to potentially destroy it and be fancy. I want to put a nice fillet around the outside there using a corner rounder. But I wasn't thinking about doing that when I did these soft jaws, so that is a little bit too far down for this. So, do I shim it up or do I trim down the jaws? Let's see, do I have anything that would be suitable for shimming? Wrap this guy in. Alright, now I'm actually going to do the countersink with a ball end mill. I don't know if I have actually a countersink big enough for a 1/2 inch, and I have to move to another machine and I have to find it, and really it's going to be faster to just have the machine do it. Actually doing it that way is nice. I got a chance to clean up a bit while this thing works. Oh, come on. That's so close. And if I take it out, I gotta measure it again, or I gotta get it aligned again. Oh wait, what am I thinking? I don't have to get it aligned again. I just soft jaws. Just gotta put it back. Alright, I am gonna bore out that center hole a little bit more. You see this? Yeah. It's a little unnecessarily tight. It's actually also making it difficult. There. Test if that fits. Not quite. You can go down a little bit farther. Alright, this will be good enough, however it turns out. Nice. Yeah, that's better. I changed it from, even though I think this is, I don't know what this is, I got it from the hardware store. I imagine that's 82 degree countersink. But it was bottoming out on the bottom there and rocking like it was too narrow at the bottom. So I changed it to 80 degrees and it seems to fit much better now. Alright, so this is done. The last tedious thing now is to modify the saw blade for the drive pins. So I will set that up and then we'll be done. It just fits. Ooh, a little tight. Could probably force it on, but there's no sense in doing that. Let's take off another 1/2,000. Didn't seem like enough. Oh, it's perfect. Alright, well, just goes to show you, I guess. Something. Alright, so there we have it. One slitting saw arbor, or in this case, I don't know what you'd call this thing. Not really a slitting saw. Sort of crazy death machine. Actually, it works pretty well. If I can get it to not... I'm actually kind of regretting doing the keying now on this. There we go. If I can get it to not spin in the arbor, should do a pretty decent job. You'll be seeing it here pretty soon, because that's the reason I actually made this, was I need to use this on the next step of the project, which involves a bunch of these guys and some aluminum extrusion. So until next time, take it easy.